Welcome back. Got some Jund on the menu today. Going around some candy that I have stashed away at my desk. Darn. So if I'm playing against a creature deck, this is really a good hand. If I'm playing against Tron or Amulet, this is going to be terrible. I'm going to keep it because I don't know what I'm playing against. I don't want to be playing against like a Devoted Druid deck and then mulligan this hand away. So, Urza or Shadow. Hold up, Bolt. Opponent bobbles themselves and likes the card they see, so they don't fetch. Got some tea on the menu tonight. Maybe a giant beer mug, but it is peppermint and chamomile tea. Okay, the Skullaghan's command is going to do work. And so will the Scoos. And 6 feels pretty weak here without a fetch land. So thankfully, my opponent just let me Kolaghan's command that Sword of the Meek and then exile it. So I'm going to make them discard a card and blow up that artifact. And then I have the green mana to eat it right now. Thanks to my opponent's timely Field of Ruin. So they choose not to use Mystic Sanctuary. They don't want Deprive. But I do have an Urza here. Just kill it the moment I can. And I think I want to attack and then drop a Goyf. That's probably like the worst card I could see, right? Like I just can't. That card by itself is a better Bloodbraid Elf. I can hear they get to kill my. No? But they're going to cast a kill spell there. Instead, they're just setting up for their lethal combo. So I can run in 6, buy back the Overgrown Tomb, shock, and then trophy. It's probably the line here. I do need green sources. That card represents a free card every single turn from my opponent. I just can't. I can't compete with that. I think I want to bolt this construct and swing for 6, though. Opponent had 3 Urzas in hand. I'm just not beating that. I'm trying to think of like my best possible. I've already played my Terminate. I've already played my 1 trophy. So Bloodbraid getting like a Liliana wouldn't even be that wonderful here. Okay. I mean, that just doesn't do much other than grow my Goyf. I have no lands in play. I guess it was maybe like a potentially lethal setup. Start pinging them. Perfect. Okay, I have now dealt with way too many Urzas for me to be happy. Alright. Opponent blocks here, and that's lethal. Man, I killed 3 Urzas. Alright, how do I sideboard here? Thinking about the trophy. Want ways to kill Urza. Plague Engineer stops Thopters. Ashiok stops Whir, but I don't even know if that does enough. Alright, what's bad in this particular matchup? So Scooz is wonderful. I need Run and 6 to help grind. Terminate's good, Trophy's good, Push is good. Bolts are kind of mediocre here. Which if I'm trimming bolts, I probably want to trim Seasoned Pyromancer also, just to try to reduce my need for red. Maybe. Let's try this out. I just think Bolt is just an absolute terrible card in this matchup. I don't want to cascade into it unless I'm trying to turn the corner. Turn 2 Bob. You can keep that. I also have a way to kill Urza. And I also have Plague Engineer to help me deal with their Thopters. Opponent bobbles and scries away. I love Mishra's Bobble so much. If I wasn't running Bloodbraid Elf, I'd be tempted to run Mishra's Bobble. It's so good with a fetch land. It's so good with Bob. Okay. It's 1 less removal spell for my Scooz. I did have to shock there to make sure Terminate got live, which is a little painful, but Again, I value Scoos more than Goyf in this matchup, so if my opponent has a removal spell, I'd rather just work through it with the spells I care less about. They have 2 Whirza in hand, so they do have access to the combo, but they don't have enough blue mana. Now they have enough blue mana. How can a fair deck compete against this? Okay, so they have the combo next turn. Thopter. Knowing their hand was 2 War of Inventions, perfectly safe with that line. A little bit less safe if my opponent decides to just swing pretty hard here. I could have cast Bloodbraid Elf there, but I think the correct line was to try to hold up this trophy. Now I've got a 4 when I tap the Peatland next turn for Bloodbraid Elf. And if they can't figure out a way to get rid of this Plague Engineer, I'm kind of okay. Alright, I guess I'll take a War of Invention then. I actually don't mind that at all. I get an extra green mana for Scoos. Turn off auto yields. That could have been really bad for an F6 there. So otherwise my opponent would have had an answer to that Plague Engineer. They realized their mistake. They should have targeted the Scoos first. And now there's nothing I can do. My opponent has 1 Whirl left in their hand. Talisman of Dominance to try to make up for Mox Opal, and it's interesting. If I cast Thoughtseize, they cast Whir. I think I just need to attack. See, no reason to cast Goyf in case my opponent's got damnation or something like that. There's no reason to walk into something bad. Okay. Okay, did they find the removal spell? Alright. I guess they're not dead. They can gain 1, 2... Which mana do they have? 2, 4, 5. 4 mana, because that would cost them a mana. So they gain 4 life here. Oh, 5 life there. And still lethal. Alright. I'm happy with that. I'll see you guys in the next one.